Broadcasting all over the world at urbanbroadcastmedia.com, delivering love and inspiration 24/7. This is UBM Praise. The following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries. Thank you for listening to UBM Praise.
A young man that you all know is Joe the Policeman from the What's Going Down episode of That's My Mama. I want you to put your hands together and welcome him to the stage. Big round of applause.
Let's go.
Sir Walter Jones.
Who is it?
Sir Walter Jones.
What's his name?
Sir Walter Jones.
Whose show is this?
Sir Walter Jones.
Who is it?
Sir Walter Jones.
Say it again.
Sir Walter Jones.
Who you with?
Sir Walter Jones.
One more again.
Sir Walter Jones.
The Sir Walter Jones Show. Co-host Alvin Carter. We are a Christian talk show in where we tackle all the hot topics in a believer's walk.
Sir Walter Jones.
Who is it?
Sir Walter Jones.
What's his name?
Sir Walter Jones.
Whose show is this?
Sir Walter Jones.
Who is it?
My name is Adam Lidolce from SexyConfidence.com, and I definitely think chivalry is dying.
I'm James Michael Sama from JamesMSama.com, and I believe that chivalry is alive and well.
I'm not sure if it's because of online dating or if it's because of today's hookup culture, but we straight up just don't really have much respect for one another.
Adam, I do agree it's a societal issue, but I think it's more of an awareness issue rather than no respect. I think if you take the time and look around, people are opening doors, they are pulling out chairs, but it's just everybody is so caught up in their daily lives, they're not taking the time to notice and appreciate it.
All right, dude, good point. But when I personally think of chivalry, I think of men doing something for women because women need to be like cared for or something. Dude, I'm sorry, this is the 21st century. Women don't need men to care for them.
Okay, I definitely agree that women don't need men to do anything for them, but that's not what this is about. Chivalry is about men taking the time and putting the extra effort to do small things that show women that they love, respect, and care for them. That's where the real intention lies.
Dude, good point. But I gotta say, when I think of chivalry, I think of not only men just changing, but also women have changed. I mean, if you think about it, women are taking on such a bigger role when it comes to their work life. And I think that it's really hard for women to transition that like work-life dominance to more of like a receptive end when it comes to dating.
Well, that's a good point. I don't think it has to be a transition to a different role in life. I think it has to be understood that there are two different conversations that are being had here. Chivalry is not about equality. A woman can still be making more money or have a higher position than a man, but he can still show her these acts of love and respect and not take away any of her independence.
I mean, James, I think we can both agree that men need to be more chivalrous, but women also need to reciprocate as well. I mean, if a guy takes a girl out to a nice dinner, then maybe the woman can offer to pay for froyo that night or just do something. I mean, there's definitely two sides to this coin.
Yes, I completely agree that relationships, love, respect, appreciation, they're all a two-way street. But just because a man does one thing to show his respect doesn't mean a woman has to do the exact same thing in return. There are different ways that they each can show their appreciation and their value to each other.
Dude, totally agreed.
Dude, we can talk about this all day, but I think we both can agree that men need to step up and be more chivalrous.
Dude, totally agreed.
I think women need to step up their game as well.
Dude, totally agreed.
And men need to start being more upfront with women and realize they can be respectful and a gentleman without being a doormat.
And women need to realize that they can be powerful, sexy, confident in every area of their life, but still allow a man to just be a man.
True.
And dude, I think we can agree on one other thing. If both men and women start putting in a little bit more effort, at least Tinder won't suck anymore.
True.
Ladies, what do you want to know? How bad do you want to know it? What are you willing to do to find out? Tune in to the Men's Chronicles right here at the Sir Walter Jones Show at UBM Praise.
Girl, just let your hair down. Let's paint the whole town. Life is our playground, yeah. But I'm not a kid no more, so I must open doors and make you feel like the lady you are. My mama raised me to be classy, not flashy. I'm happy to please you, though I can tell that's not what you're used to. And they say chivalry is dead, dead, dead. Girl, let a real man pick up the slack and treat you with respect. Yeah, and you don't have to love me, love me, love me. You don't have to love me, love me, love me. Just 'cause I'm a gentleman don't mean.
Hey, y'all. Sir Walter Jones of the Sir Walter Jones Show. Welcome. It's Monday, Men's Chronicles. And it's a day where we come around the mic and we talk about stuff dealing with men. Today's topic is chivalry dead? Are you chivalrous? Are you full of chivalry, men? Or is it gone? Or did you ever have it? You know, some people out there just never had it. I was raised in a house with an overbearing mother, and she didn't know how to teach the man how to have chivalry. Let's find out why. Now, you women, you can't be the father as much as you men can't be the mama. Just can't. I know Mother's Day come, and I hear a lot of people say to some of these single mothers, "Happy Father's Day, you father too." The devil is a lie. Devil is a lie. You are not the father. What was that? What was that? That wasn't a cartoon. It was animated. It wasn't animated. It was the little baby talking about something. Not the father. Not the father. Yeah, dinosaurs. Yeah. What do you call that though? It ain't animation. It ain't real. Well, it's something. They were men and people and puppeteers. Yeah. That one. Yeah. So you cannot, women. You just cannot be the father because God made male and female. If he had done that, then hopefully you guys will keep the order. Unfortunately, something happened in history where a lot of men escaped the household. They're gone. Bye-bye. And some of it was not their plans. Some of it was government plan. As some of the guys get here, they'll probably go a little more controversial than I am right now. There seemed to have been a plan to get rid of the man out of the house, and it worked. Now, you probably say that's a blanket statement, bro. We'll talk about that a little later. But what we want to do is we want to delve into the chivalry and why is it you don't see it as much as you used to from your parents. Your daddy had it. Your grandpapa had it. Your great grandpapa had it. Move into the millennium. Generation X, Generation Y, you don't see as much of it as you did in the baby boomers years. Even the children of the baby boomers, you might have saw it, but then it was just trickling down where it started dissipating. You didn't see it as much. So let's chime into this subject here. The Facebook has already chimed in and they're going ballistic. Crystal Waters is here. Thank God she has chimed in. She says, I don't want to do any of those things you mentioned. Well, first of all, someone mentioned here about she can open up her own doors and take out her own garbage and all these other stuff. And then Crystal says, I don't want to do none of that stuff. I only date gentlemen. Chivalry. Your choice. To sum it up, I don't believe chivalry is dead. In fact, I know it's not dead. It was what she said. Janice Green Nelson says, nope. Treat me like the lady I am. Treat her like a lady. And the cigarettes that she smoked even. I think that's the lyrics. She says, when I need to be independent, I will step up and do what I need to do. But when I'm with you, treat me like your queen and I'll treat you like my king. Go on, Nelson. The Nelsons. She started in trouble already. Well, she got 3 likes and I was one of them. Crystal says, yes, Janice. Yes, girl. Buddy gave us some popcorn. Thank you, buddy. Michelle Thomas says the only reason chivalry might be dead is because some men have not been taught how to treat a lady. Okay, and this is where I was going at the beginning of my little spiel here. She continues to say, so for those women who like to train their men, this might be one area they start at first. My daughter often complains that X never opens doors for me or pulls out the chair at restaurants like Daddy does for you. I tell her all the time, he wasn't raised or taught to do that, so he doesn't know. And that is up to her to require it from him. Yep, I just gave you another like. We're going to dwell on Michelle Thomas' issue here in this show. Sharonda Robinson says an intelligent straight man with full-time employment with benefits and other assets like stocks, bonds, and property is all the chivalry I need. A door opened by a broke man. Let me hush before the buddy tells me to have a seat. That was pretty good, though, Sharonda. Pretty good. And Buddy said, have a seat. Buddy also says, here's a universal statement. We all will be treated as we conduct ourselves. I could shut the show. I could shut down the show right there. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it will be treated like a duck. That's right. So if a lady is walking ahead of a man and opens the door for herself rather than to stand there and wait for him to open the door for her, then she should not complain that men don't open the door. And yeah, and so where Buddy and Michelle Thomas is where I want to go on this show. So whose fault is it? Why chivalry is dead? The ladies. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, exclusively is you guys' fault? No, I'm just messing with you. But a lot of it is your fault. So we have to treat this in a case by case basis. Basically, what Buddy said is true. I've dated women where I went to open up stuff for them, and they were like, "What are you doing?" It was amazing, and I wasn't used to that. I couldn't understand how you wouldn't let me open the door for you. Why can't I put your coat on for you? You know? Oh no! I mean, it was just amazing. I didn't come up in that world, and I don't know when did this stop. I know babies are having babies now, and so the ladies are doing everything on their own, and because the ladies have been independent for so many years. Doing everything. Y'all do everything, and then now I hear the proverbial statement of I don't need a man. Yeah, I don't need a man. When I hear that, it's just disheartening. And we know what you're trying to say, but you shouldn't say it like that because you come off being very haughty, very full of yourself and pride, and say I don't need a man. I don't need a man. Well, okay, you may not, but why do you always have to voice everything? And that's one thing I do notice about women. Y'all have to say everything, and then you reap the benefits of it afterwards, after it leave your mouth. And you got to be careful. You know, the Bible talks about the tongue. You know, in James chapter 3, I didn't bring my Bible. I think it's 3 or 4. You know, we can go there. We can go there. Let's go there because I think it's important that we see where some of these problems have derived from. And I'm going to read a few articles here that also can help us get an understanding of the times have changed. Things are not like they used to be. And so once you hear some of the articles that I have here, you'll see what's going on. But chapter 3 in James says, and I think I'm going to do out of the ESV standard, the ESV version, not many of you should become teachers, my brothers, for you know that we who teach will be judged with greater strictness. That's me, guys. Okay? For we all stumble in many ways. And if anyone does not stumble in what he says, he's a perfect man. Able also to bridle his body, his whole body. If we put bits into the mouths of horses so that they obey us, we guide their whole bodies as well. Look at the ships also. Though they are large and are driven by strong winds, they are guided by a very small rudder, wherever the will of the pilot directs. So also the tongue is a small member, yet it boasts of great things. Somebody said sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. That is one of the biggest lies known to man. Names have destroyed people, have killed people, have started world wars because of your mouth. And this is what James is saying here. You could put a bit in a horse's mouth. A horse is huge. Okay, very tall. Need a ladder to get up on it sometimes. But you can put a little bit in his mouth and turn it to and fro, and you can take a ship, it says here. And go wherever the pilot tells it to go. Have you seen the Love Boat and these Caribbean cruise lines and all these big ships, the weighing tons and tons and tons, but one little skinny guy can take a wheel and turn it and the whole ship turns. That's how easy it is. But the tongue, whew, it says, how great a forest is set ablaze by such a small fire. All it takes is a little flicker. Who's the animal that says, you can prevent forest fires? That's Smokey the Bear. Yeah, old Smokey. And the tongue is a fire, a world of unrighteousness. The tongue is set among our members, staining the whole body, setting on fire the entire course of life. Wow. Have you ever seen a woman walking down the street on fire? Yeah, because of her mouth. And set on fire by hell, it says. For every kind of beast and bird or of reptile and sea creature can be tamed and has been tamed by mankind. But no human being can tame the tongue. It is a restless evil full of deadly poison. Oh my God. With it, we bless our Lord and Father. With the same tongue, I see this in church all the time. With the same tongue, we bless Jesus. And with it, we curse people who are made in the likeness of the same person who made us, which is God. From the same mouth come blessing and cursing. My brothers, these things ought not be so. Does a spring pour forth from the same opening both fresh and salt water? Can a fig tree, my brothers, James must be talking to a bunch of African Americans, because he keeps saying my brother. And he might be Muslim, I don't know. He said, can a fig tree, my brother, bear olives? I think he might have said bean pie in here somewhere. Let me see. No, he didn't say bean pie, my brother. Bear olives, or a grapevine produce figs. Neither can a salt pond yield fresh water. And that's out of James. That's out of the book that you guys have in your house that you don't read because it's full of dust. That dust is so heavy you can't open it. Yeah, so the tongue is unruling. It's deadly poison, and there's something happened. I know sometimes a bunch of us brothers will be walking down the street, or be in church, or we're in a social gathering, and we see a bunch of beautiful looking young ladies, and many of us will not approach her because there's fear there that she looked nice from head to toe, but as soon as she opened her mouth. Because I think we have produced some women who they pretty, but they've been told they've been pretty and fine all their lives, and something went to their heads, and they think that they the best thing since sliced bread. They are the gift to the world, and you can't tell them nothing, and so it has caused problems. It has, but I've already got in trouble for everything I just said, and I don't care. So is Chivalry dead? No, Chivalry is asleep. Chivalry is what do the bears do at a certain season? Yeah. Chivalry is hibernating for now, and they'll be out and soon as the weather is better. It's great right here, and it's about 72 degrees in Chicago, and you start seeing everybody who wants to come out and make sure that you see as much skin as possible. See. The wintertime is when you want to cover up as much as you can. Summertime is you want to take off as much as you can. And we're seeing that when the sun comes out in Chicago. I mean, really, you might as well just go to Minnesota Fabrics. Do they still have that? Yeah, usually. They still have it. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, and then just cut a real thin piece of cloth, just a thin piece of cloth. All right, and then just paste it on you. And that's all the ladies are wearing today. Just pretty much one thin piece of cloth. And then what happens is a man will say, "Oh, you look nice," or some guys will whistle. Okay, now let me tell you something about that. All right, you knew what you looked like when you left the house. Matter of fact, you did all you could to look the way you did, and we can't tell you. We can't tell if it's you or the neighborhood prostitute. We just can't. Some of you have gotten way out of I don't know what's wrong with you. And so a man comes by and he speaks to you. Okay, so you've dressed very sexually attractive to a man, and okay. So the woman will say, "Hey, don't talk to me like just because I'm dressed this way. Don't make me a whore." Okay, and she'll walk away. Well, you know, if you ever needed the help from a police officer, you walking down the street and somebody took your purse and what have you, and you saw a guy playing in a blue, you know, the Chicago's finest. They wear the blues, I think, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And you walk up to him and you say, "Help, police! He took stole my purse." Can you imagine the cop saying, "Just because I'm dressed this way, don't make me the police"? Can you imagine that? If you're going to dress the part, you're going to be approached according to the part. Okay? So what has happened is, the reason why I'm blaming women for a lot of this non-chivalryness in men, I'm looking at some of these magazines that you guys have subscribed to, okay? And what girly magazines have done was it has made you feel less attractive and unworthy. And if you go into Jewel, Osco, go into, y'all give me some drugstores out there in Chicago. CVS. Yeah, okay. You go to Walmart, go to JC Target. Okay, what they sell magazines there? Yeah, man. At the counter. Okay. Thanks, D. All right. So you go to those racks and you see. Now pay close attention to the cover of the magazine. Trust me, if you don't see the word sex on those magazines, even if it's a food magazine, because they're gonna say how to cook sexy for your man. Okay, if it's a magazine about sports, how to load your gun sexy for a man. I mean, it's just amazing that it's amazing that you have to, and then it talks about how the fat women and the small women, how to lose weight. Okay, how to do this. It's always something about making you feel like you're just not perfect yet. So you got Vogue, you got Oprah's magazine, Bazaar, you got Bust, you got Shape, Women's Day, Teen Vogue, Body and Soul, Tango, Lucky, Cooking Light, In Style. Don't forget People, First for Women, Good Housekeeping, Cosmopolitan, Prevention, Elle, Allure, Better Homes and Playing in the Gardens, Brides, Reader's Digest. I think they might have defunct. I don't know. They still around, Reader's Digest? We got Country Women, Essence. Country Women, yeah. Essentials, yep. Family Circle, Glamour, Martha Stewart Living, 17, Today's Black Woman, U.S. Weekly, Vanity Fair, all those magazines everywhere. Okay, they got a lot of them for women. Okay, and some of them, I mean, I used to read some of these. They were very interesting, and then I just couldn't take them all because just got on my nerve. And I think if sex was on the New York Stock Exchange, it is. Okay. If sex was on the New York Stock Exchange, then the stocks would plummet today. You know why? Because y'all are giving it away for whatever. You're giving it away for free. You're giving it away for whatever he says. You're in bed that night after he picked you up at the bar or wherever y'all pick each other up at, wherever even at church. Okay, y'all go home and bam. And so, pray, yeah. So y'all, you're pretty much giving it away. You're giving it away. So how can a man be chivalrous? He can't be, because you're so easy. You're easy. Women who dress, the way you do, and you talk the way you do, and you act the way you do, he don't feel like he don't need to be a man of chivalry. It doesn't make any sense for him. That's too much time that he's wasting. He feels. Okay, Michelle Thomas, what are you saying here? She says, I feel it's partly a man's fault as well. If you're a father with a son and you do this for your wife, then you should be teaching your sons this as well. On the other hand, it becomes a woman's responsibility to help teach if the lesson wasn't first learned or learned at all from the dad. Yeah. And don't think I'm be, I usually spend the first half hour of my shows bashing one side and then the other side. I'll bash after the second hour. Okay. Let's see. Noble Headless says chivalry. She gave us a definition, I think. I don't know. Quickest way to the friend zone. All right. Like that. Tanya Clater, she agrees with me. I'm surprised.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And it goes, Michelle gave me another magazine. She says Hustler. Well, Hustler, that's a men magazine. Although I do understand that some women like to read it for the articles. But that straight man, don't ask me how I know. I heard about it. I read about it. It was a movie. Yeah, sure was. There it was. It was a movie. Thanks, man. You're the best. Yeah. So we go to the wiki. Oh, a wiki. That's last name pedia. Chivalry, or the chivalric code, is a code of conduct associated with the medieval institution of knighthood, which developed between 1170 and 1220. I'm getting ready to go there with this chivalry thing and its originality or origins. That's the word, origins. Yeah. See, it's Monday. It's usually my day off, and so I don't talk right nor see right. According to the British medieval historic David Crouch, no kin to Andre, the historical debate on chivalry is an ancient one. The late medieval code of chivalry had arisen from the idealism or idealization of the early medieval synthesis of Germanic and Roman martial traditions involving military bravery, individual training, and service to others, especially in France, it's actually called Francia, among horse soldiers in Charlemagne's cavalry. The term chivalry derives from the old French term chevalerie, not something you drive. Chevalerie, which can be translated to horse soldiery. So you want me to be chivalrous? You want me to be a horse? Gaultier states that knighthood emerged from the Teutonic forest and was nurtured into civilization and chivalry by the Catholic Church. Uh-oh. Them Catholics. Over time, its meaning has been refined to emphasize social and moral virtues more generally, and the code of chivalry, as it stood by the late Middle Ages, was a moral system which combined a warrior ethos, knightly piety, and courtly manners, all conspiring to establish a notion of honor and nobility. I said, Dion, as we go to this here break, I shall want to hear Jonathan McReynolds. He is a dear friend of mine from the land of Chicago, which is northwest, east-south of the Midwestern atmosphere of Canada. He has a song I love so dearly called I Love You. Yes. I was a young lad when I was young. Dave Chappelle says something very interesting in this clip I'm about to play. He gives you an understanding of chivalry and where it comes from. And then we're going to play Jonathan McReynolds Says I Love You. Stay tuned for more of this craziness of The Sir Walter Jones Show.
That bothers me the most is the way that men and women don't get along no more. That's really what's bugging me about it. Men and women just don't get along. Like I hear women say this all the time. I know a lot of you sisters be like, chivalry is dead. Don't you? Don't y'all feel that way? Like men aren't gentlemen anymore? That's right. Chivalry is dead, and women killed it. There's a fundamental difference in the way we're going to see things. We're not going to see eye to eye on this issue. We're just not. Our tests in life are different. A woman's test in life is material. A man's test in life is a woman. Now, by test, I mean that those are the things that we desire. Men have nice cars, not because they like nice cars, because they know women like nice cars. That's how it goes. Because men are hunters, and the car is the bait. And a woman comes and says, ooh, nice Porsche. Gotcha.
Log on to urbanbroadcastmedia.com and check out the many services Urban Broadcast Media provides. Whether it's social media, video production, radio broadcasting, or audio recording, we got you covered.
People don't understand why we lift our hands and sing praises. And people can't comprehend that when we dance, we're not crazy. See, maybe they don't realize that sitting high is the Father. And this is what we were created for, nothing less or more, but to worship you. And I just want to say that yours is the best love that I've ever had. And I just want to say that I think it's only fair that we give it back. I love you. Mercies every day, and you still find room for more favor. I can't believe there ever was a time that I tried to hide who you were to me, but those days are long over now. I'll show it proud for all to see. I just wanna say that yours is the best love that I've ever had. I just wanna say that I think it's only fair that we give it back. I love you. Who you are, Lord, I really love you. Oh, oh, oh. See, here's my heart, I'll make room as if we were the bride and the groom. Yeah, so I do wanna take time just to give you all of the glory and the honor. I love you.
The following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries. Thank you for listening to UBM Praise.
Hi ho and welcome back.
Welcome back. Ladies, what do you want to know? How bad do you want to know it? What are you willing to do to find out? Tune in to the Men's Chronicles right here at the Sir Walter Jones Show at UBM Praise.
Do 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 do. I'm by myself. Do 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 do. I'm by myself. I'm not gonna continue because I'm by myself. Yeah. At least for time being. Hey, that was Jonathan McReynolds, Chicago born, bred, and traveling the worldwide. Thank God for him. I was his first piano teacher, actually. He speaks about it every now and then. I had a cassette tape of him when he was a little boy and singing. He did not want to sing. His mother wanted him to sing, and he refused. And we were in the living room trying to get him to sing, and I finally captured it on cassette tape years ago. And now look at him, traveling the world. I thank God for Jonathan. Hey, who were the mighty men of David? In 2 Samuel 23:8, in 1 Chronicles 11:10, it is a list of group of people known as mighty men of valor, or mighty men of David, or David's mighty men. They are also referred to as the 30 chiefs. They're 30 chefs. No, 30 chiefs. 1 Chronicles 11. And simply the 30 is what they call them. 1 Chronicles 12. These mighty men of David were a group of David's toughest military warriors who were credited with heroic feats, including Joseph, who killed 800 men in one battle with a spear. Powerful man. 2 Samuel 23:8. Additional notable actions listed included the deeds of a man named Eleazar, who stayed on the battlefield when other warriors fled and killed Philistines until his hand was stuck, clenched around his sword in 2 Samuel 23:9. And the exploits of Abishai, the leader of the mighty men, who killed 300 men with a spear. Benaiah, depending on if you live in Chicago, was known for going into a pit on a snowy day and killed a lion, and for killing a powerful Egyptian man with the man's own sword in 2 Samuel 23:20. He also served as leader of David's bodyguards in 23. So within this list of mighty men are 3 men who served as a special elite group: Josheb, Bash, Beth. Let's see. That's Joseph. That's Josheb. Bath Shebeth. Yeah, that feels better. Eleazar and Shammah. Their exact roles are not made clear, but they were certainly seen as standouts among David's mighty men. Although the mighty men are called the 30, a total of 37 men are listed, meaning that not all these men were on the team the entire time. Some of them, like Uriah, were killed in battle during David's reign. We know about that. Another explanation may be that David's elite group of mighty men numbered approximately about 30. The figure was not meant to be exact. Some of these mighty men of David had considerable military skill and the blessing of God. His mighty men served an important role in protecting the kingdom, in protecting the king, and fighting for the freedom of their nation and the land of Israel. And so there's a list of, and the Bible mentions all of them: Helez, the Peltite, Ira, the son of Achish, and Tekoa. Not IKEA, the store y'all go to for furniture. Zalman, Mahariah, Haida, all these names, Jonathan, the names goes on and on and on. And these are these wonderful men of God. The reason why I wanted to focus on these men is that a lot of times what both men and women do is we honor these mighty men, and men are known by their strength and their ability to sustain a territory, or sustain the house, keep the house, protect it, and on and on. And these strong men, when we look at men, some men that you say you look up to, usually you'll see if you ask a kid to draw the picture of their heroes, it's usually some bodybuilding person. a Hulk Hogan or let me see. Yeah, D. Give me some names or some. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. Well, the old the the first one. Yeah. Lou Ferrigno. Right. You got people like Jason Statham. Okay. All right. Yeah. There you go. Now you're working. Hey, now you're working. See, I pay him well. Yeah. So these men, if you ask them, the young men to draw pictures, these would be their men that they would draw. Said they're very strong men. Okay. The problem here in society is that when these strong men go home, their homes are disarray and broken. There's no chivalry there in a lot of cases. Now, we talked about the originality of chivalry. Matter of fact, an article that says that chivalry or gallant misuse of an archaic code. Many of you, it says, I am sure have heard of the word chivalry used in numerous situations, generally revolving around favorable conduct of men towards women, such as opening doors for them or putting them first in general. Well, if it's not obvious by now, but this is a common misnomer, and the word's origin started well, a little less romantic and a bit more dark. It originally relates to the medieval period in Europe, and more specifically to knights. Chivalrous conduct was a militaristic value held by knights and was a cornerstone to the way they would carry themselves. Although the rules were not official and varied from region to region, they largely governed the knights' conduct in battle and, more importantly, to others of their stature. The medieval period was full of ruthlessness, with morals shaky at their best, with this code not really being what would be considered honorable by modern day standards, as commonly knights would look down on others below their station and in battle mercilessly slaughter warring countries, peasants without a second thought. But the opposing knight, the story was always different. They would always engage in their combat, so not attempting to get quick edge by sneaking up on them or looking for a time when their guards were down. They showed mutual respect for one another, allowing an even footing to test their skills and prove who was actually better in their combat. This is quite admirable, as in most combat, the edge acquiring plays a vital role in the situation, so this true treatment is skill. It's quite interesting, though the admiration can only go as far as they show no respect for common footmen or anyone below their rank, and in several cases just slaughtered them even after surrender, showing the real level of honor. Though the real clincher is that an opposing knight were to surrender to another knight, the knight would be bound by the code of chivalry to spare their life, as they admit they have been bested by that knight, and therefore it would be in poor taste to kill a man who has surrendered to them, making a very clear divide in the classes in well. The medieval time was all about the class divide, so it is not surprise really. It is not a surprise really. So there's a place called the Medieval Times. It's a wonderful place to go and eat, have dinner with your family. I've been there with the kids years ago. Place of jousting, y'all know what that is. If you've never been to Medieval Times here in Chicago, go. I mean, it's a great place for this. It's all really the whole family, but it gives you an understanding of what those people dealt with back then. They didn't have dishwashers. Okay, they didn't. They can go to the bathroom and hot water was running out of your faucets, unless you was the elite. They were the wealthy did have hot water running out of their faucets. In the Roman time, there was a man always at the bottom of the house with coals, and it was hot. There was a fire up under the house, and you had to be wealthy in order to live in those particular territories. But the average person in those areas were poor, and they didn't have what we have today. Medieval Times kind of gives you that idea when you go to that restaurant, because there's no cup and glass, and they don't give you spoons and forks and straws and all of the wonderful amenities that we have today. You had to rough it And it's a really great place to take them. But this article talk about the chivalry of those men, and we took what was original chivalry with opposing teams or knights of warring territories, and that was the chivalry, not so much the chivalry of what we call today opening the door for a lady. All right, so we borrowed these old terms and bring them into today and kind of redress them, and and make them something else in our culture. So it says here, so where has the romanticism idea of chivalry came from? Well, this is a later adaptation of the name, which occurred in the late medieval period from rich merchants who strove to learn chivalric attitudes. As they were aristocracy, they learned the manners of the knightly classes in a much more civilian way. The main thing that is still translated is the conduct towards women known as courtly love, which is about the total dedication towards a woman, and hence where the most common uses for it stems. And we use the word date today, but when I was coming up, it was courtship. And there's a difference between dating and courtship, if you want to define it in what today's term of dating is and what yesterday's term of courting is. Because dating is casual in a sense. A lot of people date, but they have no plans really of furthering the courtship into, the dating. They have no further, and they don't think past sometimes that night. They're done and they move on to the next person, and they date the next person on and on. Courtship is more than that. That means, okay, once we start courting, it's exclusive. We don't date other people. It's just you and I, and we see how this is going to work, possibly for marriage. Dating is different. So the furthering of this says it is strange to see how an idea has been corrupted and changed to bend to the needs of people. This is not to say knights did not respect women, but initially this was not really the purpose of chivalry, and that came later as the term changed. And well, it is a good thing in many respects that chivalry is indeed dead, at least in its truest form. Although many of the values are solid virtues and still applicable in the modern world, the medieval era was quite bloodthirsty and ruthless. The use of chivalry in the modern setting is still not entirely well placed, and is one of thought's common misnomers that continues to be applied to many situations. What was the name of this? There's a movie called Troy. I don't know if any of y'all ever seen that movie.
Yeah, Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt, yeah. Great movie. And I saw chivalry in that movie because Brad Pitt being the enemy, and then you had the king of, I think it was the king of Troy.
Yeah, he was the king of Troy.
Okay, the king of Troy had sons. 2 sons, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. One was weak and the other one was strong. Okay, and the weak son is the one who caused this mess because he went messing around with the wrong woman.
Helen of Troy.
Yeah, Helen of, yeah, all right, there you go. Help me out, D.
I got you.
Okay, well, the oldest son fought Brad Pitt, the enemy, in a battle, okay? And Brad Pitt and his army came to the walls of Troy, I believe it was. Was it Troy or what was the other? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because y'all know this is where the whole Trojan horse theory comes from. Yep. Okay, and he came and he called for the man to come down, and the territory was a little nervous, but the oldest son of that king came on down, and they fought, and the son was smitten, and he died, and so Brad Pitt tied this boy to a rope and drug him back to their territory. It was just such a dishonorable thing to see your son being dragged across the way. Okay, so Brad Pitt is in the tent, okay, with his woman, whom he took from Troy, I think it was. All right, and this woman wakes him up, because there was a scuffle, and the king dressed himself up, left Troy, went over into Brad Pitt's territory, found his camp, and came into that man's tent, and he says, "I want my son to be buried in honor." And Brad Pitt was like, How dare you? You have the nerve to come over here into this territory. Don't you know you could have been shot down? And he says, doesn't matter. That's my son. And I want him to have an honorable burial. And it touched Brad Pitt to where he gave him the okay to go and take his son. And they took his son back to the territory. And you saw Brad Pitt break out into tears because what he said was chivalry to me. He said, there is no man that I know that's more honorable than this king. And I said, wow, look at this. And that's the way they were back then. It ain't like the gang warfare of Chicago, the Disciples and the Peace Stone Rangers. And,
oh, no.
And who was these other gangs right here? The Vice Lord, the Blackstones, all them people, okay. There's no more there's no honor in that. Okay, that's why you got so many young people dying on the streets, because there is no honor code anymore. Back in that time, it was noticed in the article I told you that you allowed the enemy to get as close to you as possible, because what it did was it showed you how valiant you were, how strong you were, to allow the enemy to get that close, and then bam, you strike and win. That was a sense of chivalry. And then there was an honor in how people even died then. Even today, even after the World War I or World War II, there was honor when you captured a person. There's a law, what's it called? Where if you capture someone, you can't unrighteously, you can't torture them in a sense. It's y'all help me out on Facebook. It's called a Geneva, maybe it's called a Geneva Code. I can't remember. Yeah, it might be Geneva Convention. It's something where when you capture someone, there's a certain treatment that and it's a worldwide agreement.
Yeah, that was the Geneva Convention from, I want to say, World War I.
Okay, all right. Okay, in a sense, that's chivalry. Okay, there's a fight, what we call fight fair. Okay, and I think that the only fair fight now we have today is maybe boxing. You know, unless you the brother who bit the man's ear off. That ain't even fair either. So when we biting my ear, what's up? So this whole chivalry thing began then, and now what we have done, we've transferred it over into being nice to women. Unfortunately, now we have what's called chivalry is sexist, and there's a new study that went out to say that says there's some sexist things going on about chivalry, and I want to talk about that, because when I saw, you lose. When I saw that, I was a little taken away, because I was like, how in the world could chivalry be sexist? Until I really began to think about it. And let's see here. It says chivalry is dead, at least as far as equal rights are concerned. A new study out of Northeastern University in Boston says there are two types of sexes out there. Okay. Acts of so-called chivalry, like paying for dinner, offering up jackets, and calling a woman love or dear, can be signs of benevolent sexists. Wow. According to the psychologist Jen Gaw. That's Jen G-O-H. Gaw. I say her name every time I wake up when I'm yawning. Gaw. Jen Gaw. She says, while hostile sexists are those who specifically leave housework to wives and girlfriends, or wolf whistle at women walking down the street. People don't typically associate sexism with the warmth and friendliness benevolent sexist display, Gaw explains to the Telegraph. While some women consider the behavior of benevolent sexists to be gentlemanly and courteous, co-author and psychologist Professor Judith Hall at the Boston-based university told the Daily Mail that benevolent sexism is like a wolf in sheep's clothing. perpetuates support for gender equality. I knew we were going there here. The study, which paired 27 men with women between the ages of 18 and 22, encouraged the individual to take a quiz and get to know each other, rating their agreement on statements like a good woman should be on a pedestal by her man, and women are too easily offended. Help differentiate between the two types of sexes. So does that mean we should do away with chivalry altogether? Not necessarily. As AustraliansNews.com point out, if a man is carrying out those actions or these actions because he believes a woman is fragile and thus requires protection, then he's being sexist. But if he does it to be kind, that's just being polite.
Say what?
Yeah, ain't that something? I need to read that again for y'all so y'all can get it. Okay? It says, does that mean we should do away with chivalry? And it says, no, not really. But if a man is carrying out these actions because he believes a woman is fragile and thus require protection, then he's being sexist. Ain't that something? But if he's doing it to be kind, then he's being polite. You women have gone. Y'all have, man, you guys, and then you wonder, you want a man to do certain things, but then you put a wall and say, no, I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to do that. Peter Glick, author of the original Benevolent Sexist Studies, says the intention is not to make men feel like they should stop being courteous, but rather knowing when they are crossing the line. In his 1996 report, Glick said people in general find benevolent sexism more desirable than detrimental, but it still promotes gender inequality.
Shazam!
That's why a lot of you women are getting on your knees and proposing to men. That y'all going out there to the K's Jewelers and you buying rings for your men and getting on your knees. I had to pause for that one. In many cases, men don't even realize they are being sexist. In 2011, psychologists Janet Swim and Julia Becker looked at the difference in how men and women recognize and respond to sexism in their daily lives. Swim explained that men continued sexist behavior after it was recognized, but revealed they were more sympathetic when asked to look at the comments from a woman's perspective. On International Women's Day, Emma Watson, UN Goodwill Ambassador for Women, took to Facebook to discuss, among other topics, the act of chivalry and how it should really be consensual. Watson noted she wouldn't be offended if a man held the door open for her, since he's just being courteous. But to her, the real question is whether or not he would mind if she held the door open for him. Watson's wise words are worthy of a deeper conversation. Can we stop calling it chivalry and focus on gender-less courtesy? Let us know what you think. That's what the article is saying. Well, I'm going to tell you what I think after this break. We want to hear, this is a Jonathan McReynolds night. We're going to have him on the show, talk about what he's doing. But I want to hear Loving Me by Jonathan McReynolds. And I guarantee we'll be right back with more chivalry on the Sir Walter Jones Show.
Broadcasting all over the world at urbanbroadcastmedia.com, delivering love and inspiration 24/7. This is UBM Praise.
Now I'm nowhere close to a perfect man. And it takes a supernatural love to even understand that behind the walls, behind the mask and confident smile, was a broken man trying to grow up and make life worthwhile. And I know there were times that you probably shouldn't, but I thank you for always loving me. And I know everyone else probably wouldn't, so I thank you for always loving me. Now I know there were days I'd look at myself, felt like less of a person compared to everyone else. What about this flaw? Too big, too small, can I exchange? Trying to make up for where I fell short, I let sense slip away. And when I look in the mirror and don't like what I see, I thank you for always loving me. And I know I get bad, but you wait patiently. And I just thank you for always loving me. Oh, I thank you for always loving me. Oh, I just thank you for always loving me. You just keep loving me, yeah. Loving me. Oh, you keep loving me, yeah. You just keep loving me. Oh, and you won't let go. Keep loving me. Oh, though I know I don't have everything that it takes, you keep loving me. And regardless of every mistake that I make, you keep loving me. And it probably don't matter what I do or say, you keep loving me. Ooh, and every pimple on my face, you keep, oh, you keep loving me. Just keep loving me. Ooh, loving me. You just keep loving me, yeah. Oh, thank you for always loving me.
The following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries.
Thank you for listening to UBM Praise.
And now, our feature presentation.
Girl, just let your hair down. Let's paint the whole town. Life is our playground, yeah. But I'm not a kid no more, so I must open doors and make you feel like the lady you are. My mama raised me to be classy, not flashy. I'm happy to please you, though I can tell that's not what you're used to. And they say chivalry is dead, dead, dead. Girl, let a real man pick up the slack and treat you with respect, yeah. And you don't have to love me, love me, love me. You don't have to love me, love me, love me. Just 'cause I'm a gentleman. One day.
Ladies, what do you want to know? How bad do you want to know it? What are you willing to do to find out? Tune in to the Men's Chronicles right here at the Sir Walter Jones Show at UBM Praise.
Chivalry is not dead because you want to love me, love me. That was Trevor Wesley, by the way, for those of you who are asking. I didn't want to play the rest because some lyrics are questionable. So you find out for yourself the rest of the lyrics. Chivalry frowned upon as suspicion. Suspicion. It's suspicious, y'all. Chivalry is suspicious. Again, we take terms, we try to figure out what they mean, and sometimes we just don't know what they come from. There's a show on the History Channel. What's it called? Where they take words and the meaning of these words. Man, it'll come to me in a minute. From London, traditional acts of chivalry are being frowned upon because standards have slipped, and a noble gesture is seen as suspicious, according to researchers. According to the Daily Telegraph, a survey claims most women are striving for independence and do not expect token acts of kindness, like giving up a seat on a packed bus or carrying shopping bags. I don't know who's raising these women. The figures collated suggested that a breakthrough in equality, but are disappointing for many, bemoaning the lack of good manners regardless of gender. Mr. Mark Hall, Gentleman Creation Officer for soct.com.uk says, men's standards have slipped so far over recent years that any offer of chivalry from a gentleman knocks a woman off their guard and is viewed with outright suspicion. Does an offer of goodwill have to be taken the wrong way? If men upped their game across the board, good manners would be back on the agenda once again. Yeah. We've forgotten about good behavior, and it's high time gentlemen stood up on the counted and be counted, especially on a crowded bus. The survey carried out by the online service, which helps men to dress well and offer free tips on etiquette, revealed just how much women rejected chivalrous behavior. The results said a huge 82% of women prefer to pay for their dinner on a first date, and 52% claim they would happily pay for the entire bill.
That's right.
Men who think women are lumbering heavy shopping bags around should think twice, because 89% would not accept an offer to help.
Oh no.
Yeah. This website also says it believes that good manners cost nothing, and it is up to the gentleman to prove that courtesy is not dead in this second decade of the 21st century. These are shocking statistics. I just didn't know you women were acting like this today. Just to this extreme, you know. Well, I've been living under a rock. The figures show a drift away from what is viewed as acceptable behavior, Mr. Hall said. But why are we letting this happen? Your offer of an open door might be rejected, but so could the chance of friendship, respect, or a second date. The figures show further strides in equality and independence, but are a disappointment for those to whom traditional displays of good manners are important, whatever the gender. So the survey results are here, and I hope they're not as shocking to you as they are to me. 82% of women said they would prefer to pay for their dinner on the first date. Now let me explain this. I think I understand why many of them do that, because of what the definition of date is. Many have taken date as just a casual going out with somebody, and they're not thinking about some long-lasting thing on that date. And because if the man pays, then in the mind of some women, he feels that he is owed something after he pays the bill. Now this is not what I'm thinking. This is what I've been hearing women say down through the years. If you pay for it, now you feel like you owed something, and sometimes that owing in the man's mind is sex that evening, maybe tomorrow. Okay, just being real with y'all today. So she pays, so it gets her out of this bartering or this deal, this unspoken deal that men make in their minds. So that's why so many do it. Others, I don't know why they do it. 52% said they would happily pay for the entire bill on a first date. That's 52%. All right, that must be some baby boomers out there. 89% of women said they would not take up the offer from a man to carrying their bag. 89%. Did y'all hear that? Of women said they would not take up the offer from a man to carrying their bag. Depending on what the bag looks like, I ain't carrying y'all's bag, first of all. If it look like a purse, and my friends know I don't carry nothing that looks anywhere close to a purse. Just won't do it. Now, if it looks like a diaper bag, maybe, or just a bag because you got my food in it, I'll carry your bag, okay? That's about as far as that goes. And we'll carry it for a few feet. I ain't carrying it 2 blocks. I just ain't going to do it. Yeah. But 89% of the women said they don't even want them to do it. What happened to the old, and again, I think it's upbringing, because back in the day, we carried the girlfriend's books. You know, we would say, can I carry your books? You know, to and from school, to and from class. She was like, okay. and I think it all of it, I believe, starts there. That's why the women of today who are up in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, they don't want men to do that, because it got lost in the shuffle when they were coming up. Something happened. 78% would not accept a coat from a man on a cold day. Now, this is getting extreme. This is ridiculous. And I don't know what women they're polling, because I don't know too many black women who wouldn't accept a coat when it's cold, because black women don't like to be cold. That's right. Okay, so I don't know. This must be somewhere in China somewhere. Only 34% of women said they expect men to open doors for them. Only 34% expect men to open doors for them. Again, they've been independent so long, and I think they feel that their womanhood is under attack if she starts doing those things for her, and that he has ownership. I believe that. You know, y'all chime in on Facebook, because I need to know from some of you Christian women, is this true? Because this is ridiculous. 8% said they would take up the offer of a seat if a man offered. In London, this figure was only 2%. 8% said they would take up the offer of a seat if a man offered. Man, the survey also came up with some surprising answers. 41% of women agreed men should be able to wear dresses. I promise y'all, this is not a gay site I'm reading. I promise y'all, this is not a gay site. But I know what's happening in the world. I really do. 98%, said they would like to be bought flowers. 98% said they would like to be bought flowers, but only 32% had actually received flowers in the past 12 months. You see what I'm saying?
I want them, but
I just ain't got none. You see what I'm saying? That's my problem with the women today. You know, she will have a bullhorn and say, I do not need a man.
But she wants some flowers.
But she wants them. And she'll go home when nobody's listening, and she'll sit on that couch and cry tears with bonbons and saying, where's the man? Where's that man? And then she do reckless things to show you that she want a man. And I understand when they say the word need, I understand what that means. You know, a lot of women don't necessarily need a man to do things for them. They did okay now, but a woman's heart is a woman's heart, and she wants her heart stroked not by another woman, but by a man. But
that a want or a need?
I see, that's where I'm going to you. I should put you on the mic.
I'm behind the scenes.
Whew, yeah. So these articles that I'm reading, actually, there's hundreds of them, and they're all saying the same thing, and it's because they're polling the people of the world and realizing there is a shifting happening. And this is actually, I think all this is prophetic anyway. There is, man, we need to go back to the Bible, because I don't know. I need to go to Timothy and see what's in there, because I think a lot of this is lining up to in time, and how people are. Good is going to be considered bad, and bad's pretty much, considered good. And
Role reversal.
Role reversal, yeah, all of that, man. I don't know what's going on with us. What's wrong with us? What's wrong with us, world? I don't think the world should answer that, because y'all too messed up to answer that. Yeah, and I'm searching my scriptures here. Y'all talks among yourself, because okay, godliness in the last days. That's 2 Timothy chapter 3, I think it is. But understand this, that in the last days there will come times of difficulty. For people will be lovers of selves, lovers of money, proud, arrogant, abusive, disobedient to parents, ungrateful, unholy, heartless, unappeasable. There it is right there, y'all.
Unappeasable.
Yeah. Slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not loving good. There it is. Treacherous, reckless, swollen with conceit. Lovers. Wow. Yeah. Lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having the appearance of godliness, but denying its power. It says avoid such people. Men, if you're out there and these women don't want you to do those things for them, avoid them at all costs. No, that's not in the scripture. That's Sir Walter chapter 1. For among them are those who creep into households and capture weak women. Did y'all hear that? Say it again. Okay, I'll say it again for D. For among them are those who creep into households and capture weak women, burdened with sins and led astray by various passions. Always learning and never able to arrive at a knowledge of the truth. Y'all watching all these TV shows, from Scandal to How to Get Away with Murder to housewives of this and housewives of that and preachers of this and preachers of that. Always learning, watching Ellen and Oprah and all these shows, but arriving at and it says, but never able to arrive at a knowledge of the truth. You guys are out there picking up all the things of the world, everything. We had a fight on the wall yesterday about yoga classes. I want to do a show on that. Yeah. Blessed quietness. It says, just as Jans and Jambres oppose Moses, so these men also oppose the truth. Men corrupted in mind and disqualified regarding the faith. But they will not get very far. That's what Scripture says. You ain't going far. For their folly will be plain, that is, to all. Well, I think it's pain too, but their folly will be plain to all, as was that of those two men. You, however, have followed my teaching, my conduct, my aim in life, my faith, my patience, my love, my steadfast, my persecutions and sufferings that happened to me at Antioch. And he began to bless those who are in obedience. But let's go back to those women who tend to want to do any and everything, and says they'll come in your house and fool these silly women. Says, okay, weak women basically. And we've got a lot of silliness going on. It's nothing for me to be coming from church or some event after 1, 2 in the morning and see these little girls out on the street with them by themselves sometimes, and they got a baby in their hands. Where they going, God only knows where they are. And the baby, the baby is carrying the baby, basically. And you wonder what's going on. And sometimes they out there 2, 3 in the morning, surrounded by boys. And my heart goes out to them, and I want to weep sometimes because I think about, my goodness, that could be my little daughter out there, And do the parents even know where they are? A lot of times they don't care. So what happened to chivalry? It got lost in where children were born and they were raised in a household that don't know, have never seen chivalry. And so generation after generation after generation. You see men in jail today, many of them are there because they didn't see chivalry either. The father abandoned them early in life, so they had to raise themselves. So their family became the gangs, and the gangs became their family. And 90% of the boys who are in these gangs say they're in it not for protection, but they're in it because they feel loved. And that's their family. Yeah. And then you see this mess that happens in our streets.
Oh no.
Yeah. So this is bad. This is really bad. And it ain't gonna get no better. Facebook, let's see. What y'all say? What's going on here? My thing's going off like crazy. Buddy's is answering Annette. He says, I have not heard all that was read in the survey, but I think it's safe to say that those that were surveyed were either victimized by some act of kindness or chivalry, or heard all the horror stories of such incidents. I hit the like button there. Or or he done forgot his home training, letting doors shut behind him and foolishness like that. Okay, that's Natalie Bullock. I hit the like button there. Okay, it goes on and on here. What does Matthew Brown says? Has anyone been out and gotten in the car and turned and looked, and the woman was standing next to the passenger door waiting and expecting you to get back out and open the door? Yes, sir. That's where I was getting ready to go. Brown is prophetic. Yeah. Trying to find out how we could fix this mess is exactly what Brown says. Women, reason why we blaming you for a lot of the men who are not showing chivalry is because you are allowing them to do this. Let's see. One second. I'm reading this here. La dee da 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 dee 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 dee. Okay. The problem is, ladies, you guys, you got your man, okay. You kind of, know that they are missing some links up above in the head. There's some missing links there. Okay. Sometimes when I talk slow, I'm really trying to find a way to say it, because if once it gets out there on the air, I can't snatch it back. I can't. It's gone. So I have to talk slow sometimes. So you can help this man. I heard the word train. I heard that. How to train your dragon. Okay, I've seen that. I've seen y'all say it on social media here. How to train the man, do the train the man. Well, I wouldn't so much use that word. Especially don't use it in front of him, because if he feel like he's being used like a dog, he gonna show you how much of a dog he is. Pretty much. So how can you help him with this pain or with this deficiency? But that's really what it is. There's a void in him that don't allow him to, and I've told the lady, she says, he refused to open the door for me. I says, well, you stop enabling him, because you keep opening the door. After he don't do it, then you open the door and you get in. You are much of a problem as he is. The problem. You don't get in that car. Why would you even be selling with a guy who's not showing any of it? And again, you can't blame him fully, because he don't know what it is. And you guys are getting upset with these men who don't show chivalry. He's never seen it. He can't even see it on TV, because these TV shows are not showing it anymore. So he can't see it. He it wasn't in his house. He just got out of jail. He sure ain't saw it in there. So he can't. Hopefully, you see what I'm saying? So you got to show it to him, and you know what you want, right? So, like Brown says, don't open that door. Whatever door it is, you just stand out there, and if it's sweet, freezing cold, you just stand out there, and he'll get the picture. And if he loves you, he'll come out and say, oh, my bad. And then let him open the next one, and the next one. Get him to see that this is what you desire in him. And he will start doing those things. And then what will happen is he will get a connection here that, okay, she needs to be treated like this woman that I didn't see coming up. But let me find out who this woman is and how should I treat her. So you guys need to sit down and talk about it. We don't talk about nothing in relationships today. We just don't. Even, and I'm going to go here, even those of you who are engaged and getting ready to get married, you don't talk about sex. You don't. You're afraid because you think it's unholy, it's ungodly. My church told me we shouldn't be even thinking about it. We don't even kiss. And I hear all of these testimonies that come from your pastors and say, yeah, you know, they brag about how they never touch each other and before they got married. That's great. I think those are great testimonies for us to live by, for those of us who have an opportunity now. But many of us in church don't have that testimony. If you walk into a church right now, I can almost guarantee you 80% of those people or more had sex before marriage. Guaranteed. Or your money back. Okay? So, should we stop preaching the way these pastors would preach? No. Because there's the 20%, save them. Give them an opportunity to know how sex feels when they get married. Okay? So, keep preaching that. But number two, work with the people who did not have that testimony. So do another sermon on people who did mess up, but show them, okay, now you got to communicate about almost everything, because some people move into marriage and one realize I want kids and the other realize I don't want kids. Now that's a problem. All right. The other one have physical and medical problems that you didn't want to talk to your lover, your fiance, and you wait till you got married and you realize, that's important to me. Okay, let's say I'm a guy who's very sexual and I think that's my love language, and that part of the relationship is very vital to me. Why wouldn't you tell me that you can't have this type of sex because of a medical problem, or because of a priority, or a decision you decided because of a religious decision or whatever? I'm talking about in marriage. Okay, I've heard that. Some people, because they got married, they still have religious principles and they will not do certain things in bed with their husbands because they feel like, well, the bed undefiled don't mean everything. Okay? Okay? And believe it or not, I'm with you on that. I don't believe that bed undefiled means absolutely everything. No, you got to be careful how to define that. Because there's some things, if you're doing something that is that is dangerous to the wife and to the husband, you shouldn't do it. We like to use scripture to do whatever we want to do, and we have to be careful. Okay, so let's see. Facebook can chime in again. I'm trying to be fair because they kind of helped me teach this lesson since I'm in the studio by myself. Joe Hill says though with the onset of the feminist movement and the NAT, the National Organization for Women, men who continue to practice chivalry as it is being discussed today, not the warrior on a horse, because that's what we told y'all what it meant, were criticized for being condescended by chivalrous acts, and it became confusing for men in the dating scene. It's a bit hypocritical to be feminist and expect to have your door held for you. Okay? Hit the like button there. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Annette Harris says, Sir Walter, are you only referring to romantic relationships? What about platonic relationships? I think that should be addressed too, because many women have male friends that are just friends, and they should still be chivalrous to their female friends. Oh yeah. If a man was born a man and a woman was born a woman, those are the people I'm talking about. I don't care what relationship you're in, because I do that with strange women. If I walk into a Sears store and a woman is behind me, I wait and I open the door for her. I don't care who she is, what color she is, and I let her in first. Yes, that's the way you should do, because you are a man. Not because you guys are romantic in any kind of way. Nally Book says, Matthew Brown, sometimes the creep factor comes into play, because the man they don't like thinks that as soon as the lady responds to the chivalry act, he should be able to get away with anything.
Oh no.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. And that list goes on and on and on. Okay. Listen, I gotta go to this break real quick. And let's talk a little bit more about it. Got another half hour before we get out of here and do some other stuff with my life. I want to be chivalry for the rest of the day. Okay. I'm going to hang out, find some strange women, and see if I can open up some doors. That didn't sound right, did it? It just didn't sound right. I'm going to go walking and find some strange women and say, man, let me tip my hat to you. But first, let me find a hat. More Jonathan McReynolds. He's talking about no gray. Let's see what these lyrics are, because the boy's a prolific writer. Love his style. Okay, another half hour, y'all. Be with me just for a more minutes. I'll be out of your face. I promise you. You go to Spreaker.com and hear the rest of my rants. Sir Brother Jones Show.
Log on to UrbanBroadcastMedia.com and check out the many services Urban Broadcast Media provides. Whether it's social media, video production, radio broadcasting, or audio recording, we got you covered.
Now I know I wrote this song for somebody, 'cause I figure at some point in everybody's life, we just feel like, Lord, I'm split in two. Part of me loves the world and the other loves you. So what do? I wanna be safe, but I gotta stay cool too. And no, I'm not a fool. I know eventually I'm gonna have to choose. And really, I don't wanna lose my ticket into heaven and a chance to be used by you. And if it's you I'm after, I can't serve two masters. And before something happens, I gotta turn it all around, because I know I can't just have my cake and eat it too. 'Cause it's real easy to stay on the fence and still do you. And it'd be cool if we could love the Lord and still go do our thing. But see, it doesn't work like that. I gotta be white or black. Oh, Lord, I've realized when it comes to sin, you just don't compromise. It's a matter of death and life. Be weak and do wrong, or be strong and do right. And I don't wanna keep going to church, singing about how much you're worth, and then continue doing my dirt, living as if I didn't care if you're hurt. And if it's God that I'm after, and I can't serve two masters. And before something happens, I gotta turn it all around, because you know you can't just have your cake and eat it too. 'Cause it's real easy to stay on the fence and still do you. And it'd be cool if we could love the Lord and still go on. It doesn't work like that. You gotta be white or black. Oh. Tell me, we saints gotta get it together. We just gotta get it together. And if it's God we're after, we gotta pick one master. And before something happens, we better turn it all around, because you know you can't. Cause it's real easy to stay on the fence and still do. And it'd be cool if we could love the Lord and still love me. See, it doesn't work like that. You gotta be white or black. 'Cause it don't work like that. You gotta pick white or black. No gray, no shades of gray. No, 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 no. Don't work like that. You gotta be white or black.
The following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries.
Thank you for listening to UBM Praise.
Ladies, what do you want to know? How bad do you want to know it? What are you willing to do to find out? Tune in to the Men's Chronicles right here on the Sir Walter Jones Show at UBM Praise.
Hey, Black or White. It's called No Grade, Jonathan McReynolds. Great song. Great song. Facebook is really going at it. They must be getting off work or something, because something going on. Corrine says here, I love it. I am all women. Women. Okay, let's see. I am all women and love. I think she's trying to say woman and love being treated as one. I teach my daughter to embrace her God-given, God-designed femininity. It's who and how God made her and us as women. Okay. Let's see. Crystal Water says, I don't think it should depend on the woman. If you are a true gentleman, you would naturally do it for any woman in your presence. And that's what I said earlier. Open the door for anybody. If they're a woman, do it. I do it even for men. I'm a gentleman even to men. Ain't no gay bone in my body. Trust me on that. Let's see. Natalie says, I do agree with you, Matthew Brown, and I am very thankful when I am shown kindness, but earn Beatty? Everybody. Okay, got it. Ain't looking at you through God's eyes. True. Chris Water says, and I was taught to lean over and unlock his door once you are in the car. Now this is if he has a raggedy car and no power locks. Nanny Blunt says, and a real lady isn't looking for someone to hold doors. She's looking for someone to show genuine concern, and she reciprocates. Okay, I see. And Buddy answers her and says, I'll agree with you. Many men got their minds tied up in a knot. And Buddy, shut it up. Yeah. And I can't. I gotta read this here. There's a book called, and y'all know this is an old one, and I want to dig in here, called Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. A practical guide for improving communication and getting what you want in your relationship. We all know him, John Gray, PhD. This book is old. Everybody got a copy in their house. My pages have turned. It used to be a white book, but it's now off gray. Oh, no. Copyright 1992, so you know the book is kind of old. But I wanted to go to chapter 10 because there's something here about scoring points with the opposite sex. Not scoring sex points. It's scoring points with the opposite sex. Now, if you're married, then yeah, go ahead, boo-boo, score your points. But a man thinks he scores high with a woman when he does something very big for her, like buying her a new car or taking her on a vacation. We take tally of this stuff. If we empty your garbage Monday, we don't plan on emptying it until next Monday, no matter what. And we will let you know by Saturday. You want me to empty the garbage Saturday? I emptied it Monday. Do I get any brownie points for that? He assumes he scores less when he does something small, like opening the car door, buying her a flower, or giving her a hug. Based on this kind of scorekeeping, he believes he will fulfill her best by focusing his time, energy, and attention into doing something large for her. This formula, however, doesn't work because women keep score differently. When a woman keeps score, no matter how big or small a gift of love is, it scores 1 point. Each gift has equal value. Its size doesn't matter. It gets a point. A man, however,
I don't know about that.
that strange voice y'all hear is controversial. Carter. A man, however, thinks he scores 1 point for one small gift and 30 points for a big gift. Since he doesn't understand that women keep score differently, he naturally focuses his energies into 1 or 2 big gifts.
So we play to win.
Yes, sir. It's a gamble.
It ain't about the score.
No,
it's about the win.
It's about the win. Yeah, and but we know this, and we do it wrong a lot of times. Man, we be derelict of duty. I don't get it, Alvin C. Carter.
I don't get it either, because when you compare the value of the gesture or the value of the gift, it varies with women too.
It does what with women?
It varies with women too.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because a man can put the simplest thought into a big gift and not be received the right way, because it doesn't fall in line with the mindset or the idea of the woman.
Yeah, you're right.
So then that goes back to knowing love languages.
Yeah.
And you could give $1 million gift, but it doesn't speak the value of a penny because it's not in the right love language.
I agree with that. Let's see. I remember when I was married, but she said to me, I don't know who asked the question, but I think I asked her what was the most important time that we have spent together. And in my mind, I kept thinking about the trips we took and the hundreds of dollars I spent doing some wild things with her out in the country. Okay. And we were sitting on the couch at the time when I asked the question, and the TV was on, and she says, you know, the most romantic thing and the most time that I like spending with you the most is right here, sitting here watching TV with you.
Simple pleasures are the best.
Yep. It was free of charge. Didn't cost us nothing. Yeah. Yeah. Simple pleasures. Yeah. And I thought about that. That was years ago. And I still think about that today on how, in my mind, I could have saved $2,000
on yours.
Man, but
oops, I could have had a V.
I could have had a V. but no, we don't realize it's a matter of the heart. And if you the opposite of that works as well.
Also, women make the same mistake with men. They don't want to admit it.
By doing what?
Making the same mistake, not giving the right gift or making the right connection.
Yeah.
And then when a man reacts to it subtly, like say she buys the wrong shirt.
True.
Let him not wear it.
Yep.
He will never get a shirt again. Versus.
That's right.
I'm telling the truth. He'll
That's
never
right.
get another shirt.
He ain't getting it.
Versus, oh, you didn't like that color. You don't like that style. You haven't watched me long enough now. Because if a man bought the wrong dress, baby, I don't like this dress. Ain't the right dress. You know, it don't matter. I spent so much money on that dress, boy. You better wear that shirt. I mean, that shirt, boy. You better wear that shirt. It ain't his shirt. I didn't want no Gordon Gartrell.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but you're
so
right.
it works the same way.
Yeah.
Y'all missed that.
Y'all
Gordon
missed
Gartrell.
Y'all missed it. Y'all missed it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it really boils down to knowing them that live among you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Know your woman. Know your woman. Know your woman.
Yeah, know your woman. That's true. And the reverse of that, as far as pain is concerned, we did the show a couple of days last week. That is about a person can recall mental pain more so than they can physical pain.
Oh yeah.
So I remember when I have to go way back and when I know I broke my leg because I did. I sprained my ankle. Both ankles, okay, left foot and right foot. And I have to remember, okay, when did I do that and how did I do that? But my emotional pain,
come right back,
man, instantaneously. Right, I can tell you where that happened, how it happened, on and on and on, what I was wearing, and so it's the flip side of that. As far as the good things we do for each other, it's not about the cost, because I know for a fact that there are a lot of poor people who live better than rich people. They sure do, because you look at some of the rich people, and I've heard their own testimony says, I wish God had never gave me this money or allowed me to have the opportunity to get this money. I'm miserable. I've heard some, because that's why you see some of the recklessness of them. Look at this Bieber guy and all these cats who they do reckless things with this money, and then the children they strung out on drugs. A lot of them commit suicide. Some of them says, I to this day don't know who my friends are. But the poor, a lot of times, because they don't have all that stuff to distract them, all they know is love.
Yes.
And compassion and understanding. And
the values are different.
The values are different.
Because they don't have expendable money, which, if there's such a thing. They value the time. Disposable,
yeah.
Expendable, indisposable.
Sure.
They value the time, the talents that it takes to get it, and the treasure.
That's true.
Because when you're rich, after you get to that status, you can just ask for it and you'll receive.
Yeah, you're right.
Because you got it.
Yeah. You go right to the front of the line.
Because your entourage will be better consumers than you are. Because they figure your entourage will want to buy it, and then If you don't buy it for them, they'll buy it just because they give it to you because I want to be like you.
I want to be like you. No, that's a good point there. They did a study about the difference between poor people and rich people.
I'm going to get me a $65 million jet.
Oh yeah, we're not going.
Tired of being late for the radio show.
That's another show. That's another show. Meet me here Thursday, and we'll have Creflo Dollar on. He'll be calling in. So they said they said there's the people who give the most money as far as the rich and poor concerned. It says poor people give more money than the rich do. They give more money, and you often wonder how is that possible? They're poor. Percentage wise, they give
more. Also, not just percentage wise, frequently.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right.
Some rich people may give a whole boatload at one time.
Yeah,
but poor people will give more often.
They do. Yeah,
whether it's a cup of sugar or a couple of dollars.
That's right. That's more. As far as their worth is concerned, their assets, they give more of their assets than the rich person. Because the rich person may give $1 million. You're like, wow, they give a lot of money. Yeah, but he's a billionaire. Okay. 10 ways to score points with your woman, men out there. Okay. There's more than 10, but I'm going to just read a few here. Upon returning home, find her first before doing anything else and give her a hug. Ain't that simple? That will go a long way, Doc.
Yeah, I've learned that.
Yep. Find her first. Don't find the TV remote.
Better put that woman first.
That's right, Doc.
That boy wrote that song there.
He did. Find her first. Okay, she is your only attention at that time when you walk in that door. And we used to see it in the sitcoms of the 40s and 50s and 60s. The father walk in the house, and what does he say?
Honey, I'm home.
That's it. Absolutely.
And she comes
running with the
paper and the beverage.
And a pipe and a beverage.
Whatever it is, soda, beer, water.
And what is she wearing?
She's dressed up.
Pearls.
Makeup.
Yep.
Nice fitting clothes. Not no duster. Not no rollers in her hair.
There you go. And
even with an apron on.
Yeah.
She looks
presentable. Yeah.
No, she looks sexy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Presentable. That's sexy to some men.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
because see, bikinis don't turn me on.
No, it doesn't. No, it don't.
I'm trying to get to that place.
I'm trying. Right, I'm gonna get there, and it's still the thrill of the chase. Okay,
yeah.
The undressing part is vital.
Oh my God, that's the most fun.
That is the most fun. Okay, now we talking you married people out there, all right? Because Alvin's married. Okay, so the undressing is the part. Now there are some houses where he wants her to come home, and if she doesn't have much on, okay, that's his house. That's the way they like to do the little foreplay. Okay, he wants to see her in the kitchen cooking in something that he bought for her. I'm gonna go to this next one. Number 2.
I was waiting to finish because I was gonna say something. But go ahead. Go ahead. Wow.
I don't want to stir up the pot. No pun intended. Ask her specific questions about her day that indicate an awareness of what she was planning to do. For example, how did your appointment with the doctor go?
A pimp wrote that.
Yeah, I mean, John Gray is a pimp.
Real talk. Pimp wrote that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Number 3, practice listening and asking questions.
Okay, a player wrote it.
Yeah. He'd have been demoted.
No, pimp and a player, same thing.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I mean, it just depends on where
it depends on his pimposity. His pimpitude.
That's right. Pimps go to players' ball.
That's
ball.
True. That's true, because it is hard out here for a pimp.
Yeah, but players got it. Players know the game.
That's true. That's true.
All right, I'm sorry.
All right. As he digressed.
My $65 million.
Yeah. 4, resist the temptation to solve her problems. Emphasize instead. We are problem solvers, but why do we have to always solve her problem? She don't want you to solve her problem all the time.
Well,
she wants you to listen.
Because we think our job is to protect, cover, as well as nurture.
Yeah.
And make life easier for us.
But you're right. One time a woman was having some issues with her children, and she just couldn't get them together. And then she held me and started crying in my shoulder. And the man in me says, "Okay, let me tell her what to do about these kids." But the wisdom in me says,
"It's yours.
Shut up.
Let her solve it.
Yeah,
I'll pray for you.
Let her cry.
And let her ask for help.
let her get it out and just embrace her. At this time, this is what she wants. Embrace her and let her cry it out. And we talk about it later, but let's just be a strength for her. And that's important. Number 5, give her 20 minutes of unsolicited quality attention.
Huh?
Don't read the newspaper or be distracted
20
by
minutes?
anything else during this time.
20 minutes?
We require more than that.
No,
We go in that man cave. We want 6 hours.
No, we don't want 6 hours from her.
Yeah, we want the 6 hours from distraction, and she might be that distracting point.
No, you just said give her 20 minutes of undistracted attention. 20 minutes?
Yeah.
I gotta listen to all that for 20 minutes?
Yeah. See,
impossible.
See, that's why I got counseling with you and your wife tonight at 6 o'clock. Number 6.
And I ain't coming.
No. You ain't coming. Number 6. Bring her cut flowers as a surprise as well as on special occasions. All right. That's without saying. 7. Plan a date several days in advance rather than waiting for Friday night and asking her what she wants to do. I agree with that.
I can give you that.
Yeah. That, you can't do it every week, but I do agree with that. 8. If she generally makes dinner or if it is her turn and she seems tired or really busy, offer to make dinner. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, if you can't cook, go to that place where you can get Meals on Wheels. Hey,
act like you can cook. And you have it backed up hidden in the oven.
No, that's true. And I'm going to go even further that for those of you who are married and she says she does have a headache because of sexual and she doesn't feel like it, sometimes believe her.
I believe her.
But yeah, leave her body alone. Let her body rest.
Stand back.
Yep, because tomorrow.
Stand back.
Let her rest, Alvin. And tomorrow.
That's what I said.
The King show. The King is coming. Number 9. Number 9. Number 9. Compliment her.
Compliment.
On how she looks.
What she does.
Send her roses.
Send her roses.
Why?
Just because.
Number 10. Validate her feelings when she is upset.
If it's violent. Oh, violate.
Oh no.
Not violate. Okay. Validate her feelings when she's upset. This is very important, though.
No, it's important, period, because you want the same validation.
You
when
do.
You're upset.
You do.
You want to be understood. Maybe not necessarily agreed with, but understood.
I agree. Number 11, offer to help her when she is tired.
You need some help, baby.
You need some help, baby.
Let me do that for you.
Number 12. What we got 2? Okay. All right. Yeah. Schedule extra time when traveling so that she doesn't have to rush. And trust me, we're gonna need a lot of that. 13. When you are going to be late, call her and let her know. Okay. We'll finish all these tomorrow. Tomorrow's Women's Day, and we'll find something really nice for you ladies so you guys can bash us as we did you guys today. Okay.
Man, I'm going to be on time tomorrow. I ain't get a chance to do it today, so I'm going to make up for lost time. I got 2 controversial comments.
Help us,
I'm having a
Jesus.
controversy block.
Controversial block.
I've been gone since Wednesday.
All right. Well, Joe Hill is acting a fool on Facebook. I can't read or tell you what he put. Art Lewis, thank you. Matthew Brown, thank you. Buddy Gill, thank you so much, guys. Natalie Bullock, Annette Harris, thank you. All you guys for your wonderful responses. Michelle Thomas, and on and on. It goes on and on and on. And Jacqueline Elaine Coleman, love you. Gotta go. And tomorrow, 4:00 p.m. Central. All right? Al will be here. This is the Joe Walter Jones Show. Okay. That's better. Which one you gonna do? Okay.
Sing, Calvin.
To Jesus I surrender all. To Him I freely give.
Sir Walter Jones Radio Show, where he provides you with a biblical perspective for your everyday life. Stay connected to Sir Walter Jones by visiting him online at www.sirwalterjones.com or on Facebook at www.facebook.com/The Sir Walter Jones Show. Stay tuned until next time with the Sir Walter Jones Show with Sir Walter Jones.
If you can't find any work, I'll put in a good word for you at my job, man.
You ain't got no job, man!
Yeah, one more time. Randy Watson, how about it?